Welcome back. So in the last few lessons, we saw an overview of ODE, and we also saw in detail every single part of the metadata and all the resources we have there for documenting our data sets. And now we're moving on to the second great part and an important part that ODE can play in you producing data that has quality, that has a high standard, and that is open and can be reused many times for people around the internet. Okay, so that is the errors. So ODE has a very nice documentation of the table errors that it can detect. So you can run your file through and understand what types of things they can ODE can detect for you to fix them before you publish your data set. All right, so I'm just gonna browse through their website to show in this video we're gonna show the errors that ODE can detect automatically. So you don't need to have metadata or any other support documentation for ODE to understand that there's something fishy in that table, so you can fix it. Okay, so here are the errors detected automatically, and the first one is when the header is missing. So this error occurs when the header role is empty, which is a very big problem, so you can understand what each column represents, right? So, for example, this is a CSV, so the values are separated by a comma here, and then you just have on the first row just a simple comma there and nothing in the left, nothing on the right. So that means ODE is gonna detect that this role is the header because it is the first role, and it's gonna say that, wait, there's nothing there. So when you upload your file, that's what it's gonna show here, right? In this print screen. But this is very important because what if there is no comma here and the first role is this one? So we already know that we should have put a header here so that both columns had a name to tell people what they stand for. But if there's nothing here, then the first role is just this one, 1, 2. So what is ODE going to do with this? It's just simply going to assume that that is your header, that these are not values inside your data set, okay? So it's not going to show any errors here because you do have a header. The left column is called 1 and the right column is called 2. It's not a best practice way of naming columns, but it is the values that are there in the first row. So that is what ODE is going to consider as a header. So have to be very careful with this one, okay? So error number 2, the column name is missing. So in this example, we have here the same 2 rows with the values, and on the first row we have the name col1 and comma and nothing on the other side. So what is ODE gonna see? It's gonna see that this column has a missing name, okay? So that's what it's going to show you there. So you can fix this error before you publish your data set. Error number 3 that is detected automatically. So a duplicate column name. So ODE can see all your columns and see if there is one that is the same as the other, which is not recommended, right? So in this example, we have the same rows again, and then we have col1, comma, and then col1 again. So the second one is going to show up red in ODE because it's going to detect the error, okay? Now, next error is when you have an empty role. So this error is when you have any role in the middle here. As you can see, the first row 1, 2 of values is here, and then there's nothing here, and then 3 and 4. So how is it going to show? It's just simply going to show it like that. Okay? So you can discover the error and then fix it. And as you can see now, both our columns have names and they are not duplicates, so there's no error here this time. Now, when there's one missing cell, so that's different than empty rows. When a missing cell is here, so here's an example from maybe the same table that we had before, but now we have a third row and it says 5 and nothing else, no comma, no nothing. So what is ODE gonna show? It's just going to show that the 5 is here on the column on the left, and then on the right side there is nothing, so it's gonna show red. Okay, now let's say that we do have all of these 2 columns on the third row filled out, but then another number shows. So we have here 5, 6, 7. So that means an extra cell because all of the other rows only have 1 comma. So they're only separating the values in 2 columns. And here they're going to separate it in 3 columns. So this is what the error is going to look like on ODE. And then you can try and fix it. So maybe these 2 are supposed to be together, for example, in the same cell. But if they are 7 is a decimal number, it's a 6.7, for example, but you're separating the decimals with a comma, but your comma is also the delimiter, then this number is going to be separated into 2 columns because the computer isn't reading it as a decimal number. It's reading it as 2 separate values separated by the comma as the limiter. Okay? And then finally, for this lesson, we have the wrong data type. So this error occurs when a cell contains a value that is not of the expected type. For example, if you have a column that should only have numbers, but then you just have this word bad. And this is gonna show like this. Only the cell that has the supposedly wrong type is the one that's gonna show here. But here's an important note because the computer can only understand what your field type is, so it can only see that this should be a number column if it has enough rows to identify. Otherwise, it might not understand and it might suppose that everything is a string, and then this won't be an error because bad can be a string anyway. So can numbers, as we've seen before. So then if you don't have enough rows, then you might not see this error detected automatically by ODE, and then you're going to have to find it yourself, okay? So that's it for our errors detected automatically by ODE. And in the next lesson, we're going to talk about the errors that require some metadata documentation, okay? I'll see you there.